yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Hi guys, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is applying some primer, which is my Angel Veil primer from NYX, and I'm just applying that on the face, and then I'm going to set her brows with some translucent powder just to keep the brows in place and just to make sure the eyebrow pencil actually sticks on. And I'm using a skinny brow pencil to just fill in her brows quite naturally, nothing too harsh. And then I'm going to be concealing her eyebrows with some LA Pro Concealer in the shade Cool Tan, and just carving out her eyebrows top and bottom. Now I'm just concealing her eyelids with some MAC Studio Perfector concealing stick, and then I'm going also on top of that with LA Pro Concealer again, and just cancelling out the discoloration on her eyelid, ready for the eyeshadow. And now I'm doing my mineralize skin finish in the shade Dark Deep as her transition shade with a fluffy brush. And now I'm just going over that crease with a much more warm brown shade, almost like a brick red. It's from the Juvias Place palette, but the products will be linked in the description box below because I can't remember all the names. I'm just going back in the transition shade just to clean up the edges. And now I'm darkening her crease and her inner and outer corner and kind of creating a halo effect with a very dark brown eyeshadow. And I'll just keep going back and forth to get the shape right. And then I keep going back in with my transition shade just to make sure it's all nice and blended out around the edges. I don't want it to be too harsh, I want it to be smoked out at the same time. And then I'm going to be using a darker, almost black shade. It's a very, very, very dark brown. And I'm just defining again the inner and outer corner on both eyes. You can use a black if you want, but I am more comfortable using a very deep brown as opposed to black, because it can get muddy real quick. Then I'm adding a shimmery shade onto the center of the lids. It's like a rose goldish copperish shade from a Makeup Revolution palette. Like I said, the products will be listed below, and I'm just putting that in the center of the eyes and keeping that halo shape. And then I'm just, like I said before, going back in and smoking the inner and outer corner just to make sure it's all nice and blended out and diffused and sultry looking. And if you see me moving my sister's head mad aggressively, it's just because she's never had her makeup done, so she didn't know how to keep her head like still. But yeah, I'm just adding in the center of her eyelid some Laura Geller highlighter just to make it more gold. And now I'm going in with a sleek liquid illuminator just to prep her skin and make sure it's nice and glowy underneath. This is a really nice product. I'm just using a stippling brush just to blend out those areas that I applied the drops on her forehead, her cheeks and her nose. And now I'm using a MAC foundation. I can't remember the shade, but it's a MAC Studio Fix foundation, and I'm just blending that all over her skin with a Real Techniques foundation brush. And then I'm going to go in and use a Real Techniques beauty blender to blend out the foundation even more and just make sure it's completely blended out and seamless, as you can see me doing. And I'm just using the flat side of the sponge, which I really like for foundation application. And now I'm just going to start the highlighting process with the LA Pro Concealer in the shade Cool Tan. And I'm just using a foundation brush to apply that onto the areas under eyes, chin, cupid's bow, nose and forehead. And I'm going to blend that out with a beauty blender again. And now I'm just using a second concealer, which is the MAC concealer stick, again in the shade NW20, and I do this with everyone pretty much. I like to highlight 2 times with a brighter shade, and I'm just putting it in the exact same areas as I did before. And now I'm cream contouring with the Makeup Revolution foundation stick, and just applying that on the hollows of her cheeks, her chin and her forehead. And I'm using a foundation brush to blend it, and then I'm going in with the beauty blender again on the flat side to blend that out. And I'm not doing it so neatly because I'm still going to blend out her concealer, and I basically use a beauty blender to do everything at the same time. So I blend out the concealer, and then I use the same side to blend out the edges of the cream contour, if that makes sense, so that it's not too muddy on her face. And using 2 concealers, just make sure that you get that brightness without it being ashy. If you go straight in with a bright concealer as opposed to using a darker one underneath, you will probably get flashback from my experience. And I just blended that all out nice and seamlessly. And now I'm setting her under eyes and her face as well with the RCMA translucent powder in the places that we highlighted. I'm just setting that and pressing it into the skin. And now I'm just using some MAC Mineralize Skin Finish Powder in Dark Deep just to set her foundation very lightly. Very, very lightly. And this just brings back some warmth to the skin as well. And now I'm blending out her under eyes with Mineralize Skin Finish again, but in the shade Dark. It's a slightly lighter shade. And I'm just blending out the edges of the highlight. And this is how you stop flashback. And now I'm contouring her nose with the Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Dark Deep as well, keeping it all very nice and warm toned, nothing too dark or deep, and just blending everything. Now I'm just setting her face with the Badescu Rosewater spray, and I'm really drenching her face in because I want the powder to almost dissolve into the skin and really melt. As you can see, it made a very big difference. And now I am setting her brows with some Rimmel clear brow gel and just really shaping her brows and making them look really nice and feathery and natural. And yeah. And now I am just smoking out her lower lash line with a warm brown shade that we use in the crease and a dark brown shade as well. And it's up to you how smoky you want the lower lash line to be, but I like to go with the warm shade and the dark shade to get the effects that I like. And I'm just putting a bit more translucent powder under the eyes just to make it bright again. And then I'm just going to be applying some blush. I'm using some MAC Sweet as Cocoa, and then blending that powder away very quickly. I don't really like to bake. I just like to set a few times just to bring back the brightness. And now I'm applying some mink lashes. These are her ones that she purchased herself. They're from the Hairshop, but I'll try and find the name and put it in the description box. And I'm just putting I think I'm putting a pigment on her eyelid, but I'm also using a fixing gel just to make it really stick. But anyways, I'm now highlighting with the highlighter on the Juvias Place palette, and then I'm going to go in with Laura Geller, and then I'm going to be using a MAC highlighter which has got like pink reflex in it. So I use about 3 highlighters, but she wanted me to use the MAC one because it's hers. But yeah, and I'm just blending with my large fluffy brush and really going over the face and making sure everything is blended out with no harsh lines. And then I'm just highlighting her nose with Laura Geller Gilded Honey, as the usual one that really brings the face together. And then I am applying some more blush, but this time from the Juvias Place palette, the pink and brown. And yeah, you can see me adding that third highlight shade. It's like a pinky gold. It's very nice. It's limited edition, because I don't think they still sell it. And just blend in her face again, as you can see. And now I'm going to be lining her lips with MAC Chestnut lip pencil, my favourite lip liner. It works for everybody. And I'm just overlining slightly to give her a nice party look. And then I'm using Velvet Teddy lipstick from MAC with a brush. And then I'm going to be using the NYX Lingerie lip gloss in the shade Honeymoon, and the Bemi Banks Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Caramel. And just setting her face one more time from my Badescu spray. And that is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you book me if you want me to beat your face like this as well. My Instagram and my booking link will be in the description box. Bye.